speak. And so he could have the backup of considerable numbers of men-at-arms within 48 hours maybe. Maybe this is also a deciding factor as far as the Yorkists are concerned, but Audley has given the orders to his men to advance up to the Yorkist front here. However, the Yorkists haven't cleared the field altogether. It would seem that some archers are coming forward just to cover the withdrawal of the rest of the Yorkist forces. This would be a sensible situation as far as Salisbury is concerned. But he does risk his archers being cut off and surrounded and cut to pieces by Lancastrian forces, so he's going to have to take care. Rise. But of course, what they don't realise is that there is quite a hefty ditch beyond that rise, and they're going to have to go down into that ditch, climb up the other field physically. But there they are now. They've now taken the first front, if you like, of the Yorkist position. They're now beyond the palisades where the Yorkist archers and handgunners were firing upon. And the first hand-to-hand fighting is taking place right on the rise, just as we see. It's a huge press of men. It was not only the arms themselves that caused great havoc amongst the fighting forces, but you have to understand that medieval armies, they did tend to crowd together in large numbers, and literally men could be pressed to death, just crushed by the forces as they gained momentum. It wasn't often easy to stop it. If you've ever been in a situation of a large crowd of men, maybe a football crowd or whatever, you can see the sort of damage that can occur when large presses of people are pushed together into quite confined spaces. And this is not gaining a lot of ground at all. They seem to have been brought to a standstill by the Yorkists, who are now still holding their own upon the top of the rise, if you like. They still have the high ground. A turn up, and certainly it could prove quite an interesting and if not decisive tactic as far as the Yorkists are concerned. Audley has decided to come forward with his men-at-arms into the centre of the field now, split into 2, if not 3 separate battles. Surely this is a mistake as far as Audley is concerned, or order of command. It's turning into a grand melee of flamed steel and pole arm. Audley is committed to the centre of the field and to the right flank of the remaining men. Oh, disaster for the Lancastrian cause. Not only have they been split up into various... Well, it would seem that an easy victory for Audley is now slipping from the grasp of the Lancastrians. Some of the Lancastrian troops are trying to make their own minds up what to do. Certainly confusion upon the field now. Audley is down, their commander is forward to try and Audley's body removed from the field. Both armies committing themselves to battle. Drums and trumpets now blaring and sounding, orders being issued by the commanders, and the clash of steel about to occur once more upon them. Now, one of the factions on this battlefield are the Stanleys. Now, you may have heard of the Stanley household. Their treachery in latter parts of the Wars of the Roses, of course, is quite renowned as far as York's point of view is concerned anyway. And their dubiosity of allegiance is no less founded or unfounded upon this field either. They're often reluctant to actually engage into the actual combatants themselves. How is it going to tell this time? Are they actually going to stay with the Lancastrians, or are they going to actually come onto the side of the Yorkists? Who knows? Well, everybody seems to be committing themselves now. This surely is a final push for the Lancastrians. It would seem that Salisbury's managed to turn the left flank of the Lancastrian side, and the whole of the Lancastrian line now has almost turned onto a diagonal position within the field. This has given a chance for the Yorkist archers and handgunners to bear down upon almost the flanks of the Lancastrian forces and enfilade them with fire. And Dudley commits his final reserves, trying to force back this quite strong and still fresh men-at-arms, which are now standing before us in the front ranks. Yorkist gunners now opening up amongst the great melee that's occurring in the centre of the field here, and confusion surely. Who knows who is fighting who? Men being pushed back left, right and centre now. Cries of their captains, trying to encourage their men to stand their ground. But the Lancastrians have been beaten back. And indeed some Lancastrians are breaking. And the whole thing is disintegrating. It's complete chaos now. The Lancastrian line has been bent almost into double. The whole of his armoured section in the centre here now coming forward and engaging the Yorkists in the centre of the field. Well, they seem virtually surrounded by the Yorkists now. Oh, what a turn of the events. Initially the Lancastrians outnumbering the Yorkists 3-1, now themselves being outnumbered and down in the middle of the field. Well, what such a day for the Yorkists. I'm sure Salisbury must be well pleased, but of course he can't be pleased for long. It has to be remembered that he's in a race against time.